Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated. Today is February, what's today's date?
23rd.
23rd, 2020, and we are at the Marriott in Lake Mary, Orlando. Okay, and Miss, what is your name?
Mamie Melvin.
Okay, Mamie. And Mamie, when is your birthday?
29 March,
What year were you born?
1951.
Okay. And what is your current address?
I live at 436 Island House Path in the Villages, Florida.
Okay. What branch of the service were you in?
Air Force.
Okay. What was your rank when you separated?
E7 Master Sergeant.
And how long were you in the military?
32 years.
Okay. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
And where were you living at the time?
Utah. Provo, Utah.
What were you doing?
I was working as a waitress.
Okay. Why did you pick that branch of service?
I thought I wanted to go to the Navy, but then I realized I didn't want to be on a ship out in the middle of the ocean, so I joined the Air Force.
Okay. Okay. Do you recall your first days in service? So you were living in where were you born? In the Carolinas, right?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. How did you get to Utah?
So I met a Navy guy while I was in college, and we got married, and he was stationed at White Sands Missile Range.
Uh-huh.
And when we got a divorce, I needed to go somewhere, so I moved to Utah, where I knew nobody.
Okay. Okay. That was the plan, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So how did you, okay, where did you go to basic training?
Lackland Air Force Base.
So I guess you flew from Utah
Yes.
to Lackland? Okay. And tell me about basic. How many weeks was your basic training?
So I enlisted in '75. Back then, the basic training was 6 weeks.
Okay. All right. How'd you get through it?
I was an honor grad.
You were what?
I was an honor grad.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Congratulations. Do you remember your instructors?
I don't remember their names, but I remember them personally.
and I got it. No, I understand that. I'll never forget Sergeant Sauer. I was at Lackland. I'll never forget him. All right. So, I guess you were in pretty good shape, and it was just, the physical part of it.
Yeah, I was young. Oh, and back then, women didn't do the things that everybody does today. It wasn't it was physically demanding, but I didn't have to go out and do obstacle courses and things like that.
Okay.
The way they do today.
Okay, all right. Okay. Were you ever in combat?
No.
Okay. So where did you go to tech school?
Chanute Air Force Base, Illinois.
Okay. How long was that tech?
8 weeks.
And what'd you go for? What was your AFSC?
Air Crew Life Support.
Air Crew Life Support. Wow. Okay, so you were there for 8 weeks. Did you go home on leave at any time during basic and tech?
I took one leave, yes.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for how long?
Couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks.
I had left my dog in Utah, so I had to go back and visit her.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so when basic training and tech school was over, where was your first duty station?
Richard Gebauer Air Force Base, Missouri. It's no longer there.
Oh, really? Okay. And how long were you there?
About a year and a half.
And air crew, did you get to fly or did you
No.
judge this a job on the ground on the flight line?
Yeah, taking care of life support equipment for aircrew members, oxygen masks, helmets, parachutes, that sort of thing.
Okay. How were your instructors in tech school?
Oh, my instructors in tech school were great.
Okay.
I actually was afraid of heights, and one of the things we had to do, they would suspend us from a parachute rigging, and we had to figure out how to get on the ground. And I had to go back after school every day for the entire time to get over my fear of heights so that I could graduate.
Okay.
So they were very empathetic toward my issue.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Did you have vertigo?
No, just afraid of heights.
Okay. All right. So you didn't see any combat?
No.
Okay. Okay. We're lucky, I think, when that happens. However, up to that point, did anybody get hurt, or did you get hurt? You know, through basic, through tech school?
No.
No. All right. Cool. All right. So you weren't a prisoner of war, but however, okay. So you were in Missouri for a year and a half.
Yes.
What was your next duty station?
Norton Air Force Base in California.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I think we talked about that, didn't we?
My husband and I were there for 6 years.
San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
Right. So when did this was his second husband?
Yes.
Where'd you get married?
In Richards-Gebauer Air Force Base.
Oh, all right, that's where you met him?
Yeah, I was a level 2 striker and he was a tech.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So the both of you got to go to Norton
Yes.
at the same time?
We fought hard, but they finally let us go together. Yes.
Okay, good. Boy, that's hairy.
Yep.
Okay. So what was your job at Norton?
Well, I started off in life support, but after I finished my first 4 years in the Air Force, you could retrain, and I went into military personnel.
Okay. All right. And was it administrative?
Yes.
Uh-huh. What were your duties?
I mostly maintaining airman records.
Okay.
Personnel records.
At CBPO?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, you remember CBPO. I don't think there's anybody left who remembers.
Anyway. Okay. So how was that job? You know, how was the commander on the base? How did you get along with your peers? How was the food? Where'd you go on leave?
So
Take a turn.
I love my job. I had worked with lots of great people. You know, when you're a young airman, you don't have much interaction with your commander particularly, but I always had good supervisors and great people to work with. We had such a fun time, and my one leave from Norton that I can particularly remember, we went to Las Vegas, a group of us from the CBPO.
Uh-huh.
And that was a lot of fun.
And, okay. The gambling, the shows, what was so much fun?
Well, you know, part of the fun was we took an 18-year-old with us who was younger than me at the time, and we had to keep him out of trouble.
Uh-huh. Okay. Was that hard work, or
Oh, no.
did he go gently, or what?
Yeah, he was a good airman.
Was he?
Yeah.
All right, so you said Vegas, right?
Yes.
Where else did you go?
Well, we had friends in San Antonio. I think we made a couple of trips. We drove from Norton to San Antonio, Texas.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, you're in California, you go to the mountains, go to the national parks, you do that sort of thing. Oh, and Disney.
You went to the Yosemite?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. San Francisco.
Yes, we did San Francisco. Yes.
Uh-huh.
We did. I think it's called Disneyland in California. Here in Florida, it's Disney World.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Two different names.
Right. I met Minnie and Mickey Mouse there.
Uh-huh. Okay. Did you, when you were traveling, how did you travel? By car, bus?
Oh, by car. We drove everywhere when we were in California.
Right. mention. Okay, gotta get some more light there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so you were there for 6.5 years, you said?
We were there 6 years.
6 years.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a pleasant experience overall.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Okay.
Other than the smog in California, it was a great assignment.
Well, yeah, I remember that rolling out to, I was stationed at March, and it rolled out every day from LA, you know,
Right.
coming back east.
Yep.
And boy, that was a scary sight.
Yeah. Well, because we were in San Bernardino, we're kind of down in the bowl.
Uh-huh.
We'd go weeks where we wouldn't even, surrounded by mountains, and you wouldn't even know the mountains were there because of the smog.
Wow. That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Oh, did you experience any earthquakes?
Yes.
Didn't we?
Yes.
I was on a missile base.
I was getting ready to go into the gym one day, and it was a wall of windows in the front of the gym, and you could feel the earth start to move, and you could see the windows moving
Nice.
at the front of the gym. I think that was my first earthquake.
I know this is your interview. I'm just
It's
sharing.
okay.
No, it was, I'll never forget. Always at 3 o'clock in the morning, the
Oh, yeah.
earthquakes.
Wake you up in the middle
Oh,
of the
yeah.
night.
Lovely. Okay, so, after Norton, 6 years, right?
Right?
Where'd you go next?
Up at Air Force Base in Nebraska.
Nebraska, okay. Wasn't that a missile base?
What's the headquarters SAC?
Oh, never mind.
We didn't have missiles.
Yeah, mine was a Strategic Air Command
Yeah.
at March, yeah. How long were you there?
We were there 6 years.
It's,
6 of the longest years of our lives.
Husband was able to go again.
Yes.
Okay, got that worked out. Good news.
Well, actually I separated from active duty
Uh-huh.
at Norton because it was so hard to get a joint spouse assignment. So I separated after 6 years active duty and went into the reserve. So at that time, it was my reserve assignment and his active duty assignment.
Gotcha. Okay. So now we're in Nebraska?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, and sorry about that. Go to 51, 54. The new editing. Okay. All right.
Thank goodness for editing.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, what was that assignment all about? What were you doing? So you now you're in the reserve.
Mm-hmm. So I joined an electronic security squadron, and I was in command control communications. So 3CM, command control communications and countermeasures. And our main job was listening to conversations to ensure there were no security breaches at that point.
Okay. Wow. In the reserve.
Yeah.
What was your husband doing?
He was in audiovisual. He was in one of the intelligence analysis squadrons.
Uh-huh.
So he was audiovisual.
Okay. All right. So how long did you have that job? That was 6 years again, right?
Yeah, I was there for 6 years.
Another 6 years. Okay. Tell me about. So you didn't have. We moved again after 6 years?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Okay. Where did we go? Andrews, maybe? Yeah, Andrews.
Okay. So you're near DC, or you're in DC?
Right.
Washington. What was your job there?
I went back into military personnel.
Came back on active duty?
No.
No. Oh,
Stayed in
okay.
reserves. Yeah.
And
During my reserve time, well, you probably know about Air Reserve technicians. Your civilian job is tied to your military job.
no,
Yeah.
I never did it.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that's what the different branches call the program different things.
Uh-huh.
So my civilian job was always attached to my military job. I had to do both of them together.
Oh, okay. All
So I
right.
went back into personnel during the week. I was a civilian. On weekends, I was back in the military.
Okay. And what was your husband doing?
He was back then we had senior enlisted advisors in the Air Force, and so that's what he did at his squadron.
Senior enlisted advisor. Okay.
He had made chief by then, so he was an E9 by then.
So who was he advising? His
Enlisted troops.
Okay, all right, all right. About what? I'm curious.
Well, I never got involved in his job. I
Okay.
mean, it's one step up above a first sergeant. So it's, for them, it's kind of like a first sergeant, but at a command structure level.
Okay. All right. How many more duty stations did you after that?
Well, let's see. We left Andrews. I did some time in, so we went to McConnell Air Force Base,
Where's that?
Kansas,
How long were you there?
about 3 years.
What was your job?
I was still in military personnel.
Okay.
And then from there, I came to Patrick Air Force Base.
Okay. All right. Any bad incidences? Anybody get hurt? Any casualties
No.
so far?
Even though in military personnel, part of my job was to handle casualties, but really during, I think probably only worked 2 my whole time I was in the Air Force. 2 casualties where, because of my job in personnel, you have to assist families and work casualties, do the reporting and all of that when something happens.
So okay.
And a casualty isn't necessarily a death.
Right. No. This is just like a car accident.
Right.
You know, somebody got hurt. Period.
When we were at Norton, I was at Norton after 9/11. I was called back. I was in the presidential call-up. So I went back on active duty for 2 years for the presidential call-up. And one of our airmen, who was security forces, she was hit by an IED in Iraq. So, you know, we had to handle her. She wasn't killed. She's still alive and doing well.
Right.
But we
And
had to handle her case.
There was only 2.
Yeah.
That's enough. I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So where were we? We were in Andrews.
Oh, yeah.
Did you? I guess you got to see all of Washington.
Oh, yeah. We had all the Smithsonian and, you know, did the whole
Right.
tourist thing while we were stationed there for 6 years.
Right. Right.
No, we were only there for, we got there in less than 3 years.
Less than 3 years.
Mhm.
Where'd you go after that?
Let's see, how did that go? It's been so many years ago. We went from Andrews. Oh, I went to Luke Air Force Base in Arizona.
Luke.
Yes,
And how long were you there?
3 years.
Okay. And same job.
Yes,
And husband.
he was retired by then.
Oh. Okay.
He
So
retired in 92.
So I got lucky.
Yeah. So he followed me after that.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. It was a walk in the park. Arizona.
We loved Arizona.
Yeah.
If I weren't in Florida, I'd be in Arizona.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
Have you been
favorite
back to
place.
visit?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were back. We flew out there this past summer.
I drove across when I got stationed, so I had my car. So after tech school, I went to see everybody. Just went back to see my dad because I've been up and down the coast to see everybody. And I drove out across. I was in Virginia. My dad retired and was in Cumberland, so I had to drive, down. And finally got to 10 and drove through Arizona and New Mexico. It was gorgeous.
That's beautiful.
My
out there.
God. Okay. How long were you in Arizona?
We were there 3 years, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get promoted in Arizona, so I had to leave. You know, in the reserves, you have to find your promotion.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, where'd you go after that?
Okay, so after that, believe it or not, I said McConnell before, but I left Arizona and went to McConnell for promotion. And we were there for 3 years. And again, military personnel. I stayed military personnel until they called me back on active duty, and I went to the Airmen and Family Readiness Center.
The Airmen
And Family Readiness,
Center.
yeah.
This was your second time at McConnell?
No, I got the...
Just got it. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. It's not a problem.
It's so hard to keep them all straight when you did 32 years of it.
I'm sure the archivist can figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about
It won't be important anyway.
Okay. And so McConnell, and how long? Same thing.
About 3 years.
3 years. And you enjoyed it?
I did.
Anybody get hurt?
McConnell, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Where'd you go after that?
That's when I came to Patrick, and I retired at Patrick.
In Florida.
Yes.
Okay, and how long were you there?
Well, we've been here, I got there in 98 and I retired in 07.
Okay. Oh, wow, so that was like,
A long time.
that was,
Yeah. Yeah. And I was with the combat rescue wing out there.
and same job? No.
Well, it's all military personnel, different jobs, and
Right.
I did
Administrative.
Time, yeah, I did time as a career advisor,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went into airman and family readiness,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay, you already told me where you've been stationed. Now tell me all the places that you went on vacation while, or TDY,
oh, okay.
all of that.
Well-
Where'd we go? Did we go to Russia? Did we go to Africa? Did
I
we
went
go?
to Germany.
Okay.
I went to we did a NATO exercise in Germany,
Uh-huh.
so I did that, and then I went TDY to another NATO exercise. I was at when I was at Luke, we had F-16s, and we took our F-16s up to Alaska and did a NATO exercise up there.
Uh-huh.
So those were the big TDYs. Were the
How long did they last? 30 days?
no, 2 weeks each. They were
Okay.
short.
So that was why you were in the reserve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I did almost no traveling on active duty. All
Really?
my TDYs were in the reserves.
All right, what about vacation? What about R&R?
Boy, vacation.
What's that?
Well, you know, we traveled around the country. That was.
Yeah, well, where'd you go?
We visited friends. We're back and forth to San Antonio. We would, travel to national parks to do different things.
Uh-huh.
The Grand Canyon, those sorts of things.
Okay. You ever get to Salt Flats?
Well, I lived in Utah, so I was driving. It was so funny. You may not care about this.
Yeah, I do.
I was driving.
This was before you went to service?
No, this was after when my husband when we were in Omaha
Uh-huh.
or at Offutt, he got an assignment to Panama.
Uh-huh.
I had my job set up. I had my reserve duty. I was ready to go. We were getting ready to pack the household goods. He went off, and I was getting everything ready when Just Cause happened, and they sent all the families back home. So I had nowhere to go. I was homeless. Everything was packed up. I was going to Panama. So I moved to Nevada,
Uh-huh.
because it was a great place not to have to pay state income tax. So,
Right.
and so I took time off from my reserve duty, but I remember driving across Utah and across the Great Salt Lake. It seemed like at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was so scary.
Uh-huh,
I was
yeah.
by myself.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be scary.
Yeah, it was.
I would have been scared. So anyway, tell me 2 of your most memorable experiences in your service career.
Let me tell you my most memorable, the
Fine.
one that touched my heart the most.
Okay.
After Katrina, they deployed our unit. Combat rescue, their peacetime mission was peacetime rescue. We ran rescue up after Floyd in North Carolina.
Right.
And so after Katrina, they deployed the PJs, pararescue jumpers. They deployed them to Jackson, Mississippi. And I went along as the support team. And we honestly, the Air Force was there, the National Guard was there, and you would walk out on the tarmac in the morning in sunrise, and there would be helicopters as far as you could see,
Right.
taking off. They would spend the day doing the rescues. At night, in the evening, again, at sunset, you could walk out, and as far as you could see, there would be helicopters waiting to land. And, honestly, I was so proud of those folks. It was just the most, that support experience was the most memorable time in my whole career. I was so proud of that.
Okay.
They rescued hundreds and hundreds of people, probably thousands of people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that was my most memorable.
Okay. You sure you don't have another one for me?
I worked hard and I do remember when I was called back to active duty. I remember I would drive because I was in the reserves. I didn't live next to Patrick Air Force Base. I lived in Kissimmee,
Uh-huh.
and I had to drive back and forth an hour and a half each way. And I would, after I was mobilized, I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive to work. I would drive home, I'd get home at 7, and by 8 there would be a call. I'd have to turn around and go back to the base. And at that point, we finally decided to sell our home in Kissimmee. We moved to Patrick because it was just, but I would be fussing because I had to get up and go back out to the base. And I finally told myself, Dee, people call me Dee, nobody calls me Mamie. I would just tell myself, you have to get over this. You get to go home and put your head on your pillow every night.
Yeah.
Those folks who are deployed and who have left their families behind, they don't get that luxury. And I had a long conversation with myself.
Okay.
I did.
I hear you. I get it, believe me. Okay. How did you stay in touch with your family throughout your service career?
Oh, so mostly Ken and I were together most of our career. He did the 15 months in Panama. And this was back in the 90s. This was before Facebook and cell phones. And back then, we had one 15-minute phone call a week. I would get up every Sunday morning, go through the base operator, and call him in Panama.
Right.
We would talk for 15 minutes, and they would tell us our time was up, and that's how we stayed. Back then, we wrote letters. We don't write letters much anymore.
Okay. Okay, how was the food?
Oh,
And go ahead, how was the food throughout?
so the one thing I remember about the food was when we were at Norton Air Force Base, we would get up every morning and we would go to the base and we'd have grits and eggs and bacon and toast and coffee and milk and orange juice. All for under $1.
Wow.
The food was always good. The Air Force always had good food.
Yeah, you know it. Did you always have all the supplies that you needed?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there ever any instances when there was a lot of stress?
Well, when I did my 2 years on the presidential call-up, because I was dealing with families, my job at that point was to make sure that the families of the people who were deployed had what they needed.
Right.
And when the families got stressed out, I got stressed out. There would be, I'll never forget, we lost a helicopter. Our helicopters were there with our pararescue jumpers.
Right.
And the Air Force lost a helicopter, and every family of every mobile, my phone blew up because it was the same helicopter we flew. But we were very lucky for us, but very unfortunate for the unit that lost it. It was not our helicopter. But that was a really stressful time, trying to get that information and be authorized to release it to the families.
Yeah. Okay, how did you get along with officers?
Oh, fine.
You retired and enlisted, right?
I am.
Okay, all right. So no major issues.
No major issues.
Did you keep a diary?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
I always get that answer. I know some people did.
Some people did.
But they're not telling, boy, and I understand. All right, so where were you when you separated? Where? Okay.
At Patrick.
So, all right. At Patrick. Right, that's right. Okay.
It's so funny. My husband and I, the day I retired, my retirement ceremony, I retired in the morning. We had my retirement ceremony in the morning on base. And in the afternoon, we renewed our wedding vows on the same day for our 30th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that was special.
Do you have any children?
No.
Okay. I had a feeling you didn't. Anyway. So what did you do when you separated, when you got out of Patrick? Because you're here now. So what was the journey from Patrick to the villages?
I continued to work in civil service until I retired in 2014. And that's when we moved to the villages.
Okay. And you've been there ever since?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Did you use your GI Bill for
I did.
Education?
I used almost every penny of it.
Everything? Okay. Yeah. All right. And apparently it all worked out.
Yeah.
What degrees did you get? You have a degree?
I do. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration. So I went back to school while I was at Offutt
Okay.
and got my degree at
What year was that?
I graduated the year that we lost the shuttle. Was that 82? I don't remember. But
Okay.
yeah, but I graduated, it's now Bellevue University. Back then it was Bellevue College. There.
Did you, after you separated, and went to the villages, did you work anymore? Or
No.
No, you retired.
I retired.
You retired. I get it.
I mean, I did. I was a member of Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters, so
Uh-huh.
I'm still very involved in that. It takes up a lot of time.
Okay. Just a couple more questions.
Okay.
Friendships from the military. Maintain any afterwards?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
From Norton in 1978, we're still in contact.
Sounds like a lot of people, or just a few special people?
Probably 24
Wow.
couples of friends.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. Okay. You apparently belong to a veterans organization?
Yes.
Okay. Top secret. Anyway. I'm
in your organization.
I know. Like I said, top secret.
Yeah.
The Democratic Veterans Caucus of Florida. Okay. Any reunions?
No.
Okay. And here we go. So, at the end of your career, and a great deal of thought, and I'm sure that I'm going to get a fabulous answer.
Okay.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
The military, of course, teaches you responsibility and how to accept that responsibility, how to take on leadership. The one thing it didn't teach me to do was to say no. So, but it did. It taught
Is that why
me-
you have that S on your?
But it really did. It teaches you how to deal with pressure. It teaches you how to be responsible, how to be a leader. It affects your whole life.
Okay. Last question. Sort of. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
You know, I'm conflicted about war.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that we should always strive for peace. And even as a military member, a peaceful solution should be the answer whenever it's possible. And war should only be a last recourse.
Resort, yeah.
Absolutely. But when it's necessary, we have a wonderful military, and we have to trust them to do the right thing.
You feel like we covered everything?
Yeah. I didn't tell you I was running for public office, but yeah.
Oh, well, hold it, because, I mean, that's another job.
Oh, it is.
Right. So, what are you running for?
Florida House of Representatives, District 33.
Okay.
And it is a full-time job.
I know. So, one question. Why?
Because I don't feel like my values are represented by our government, the people who are in our government positions, our leadership roles, our legislators. And I think that I want somebody up there that represents my values and my visions. And I decided somebody needed to do it, and I would do it. So I'm running.
Excellent. Is there anything that you would like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
No.
Think we got everything?
I think we got it all.
I'd like to thank you for a wonderful interview, and I'd also like to thank you for your service.
Thank you.